All right, let's jump right into this. We're going to talk about a story that's so much more than just a game. It's about a high school team's unbelievable journey from a really tough loss all the way to a historic state championship. This is the story of the Grassfield Grizzlies.
And that really brings us to the central question here, doesn't it? I mean, what does it actually take to turn a gut-wrenching defeat into the biggest win of your life? It's all about resilience. And for the Grizzlies, that's where the story truly begins.
So, first things first, let's meet the team. We're talking about the Grassfield High School boys volleyball team, hailing from Chesapeake, Virginia. These guys were about to put together a season nobody would ever forget. Yeah, and this really says it all. You can just feel the intensity and the bond in that huddle. This wasn't just a handful of good players. This was a single, unified team, all chasing the exact same goal.
And what's wild is just how much talent was on this roster. You had Andrew Burke, a senior and the player of the year, who is an absolute powerhouse with 433 kills, but it wasn't a one-man show. You had Caden Augustin with his killer serves, Owen Griffiths locking down the defense, and Marcus Berry just owning the net with his blocks. I mean, they were stacked everywhere you looked.
And all that talent? Well, it translated into a season where they were just completely dominant. Let's take a look at the path they cut on their way to the championship tournament.
The numbers pretty much tell the whole story. A 21-7 overall record is fantastic for sure, but look at that regional record, 12 wins. They were basically unstoppable against the teams they saw the most. They weren't just squeaking by, they were a force all season long.
And people were noticing. The buzz was real. You can see here, even early on, the school itself was shouting them out for winning tournaments. The community knew, and you better believe other teams knew, that this Grizzlies squad was something special.
But you know, every great comeback story needs a setback, a real low point. And for the Grizzlies, that moment came in the regional final, when they went up against their rivals, Cosby High School.
And, oof, this right here shows you just how tough that loss was. After that incredible season, they lose to their rivals 3-1 in the championship. That's a heartbreaker that could have ended the dream right there. But it didn't. We're going to leave that state final column empty, just for a minute.
Because here's the thing about this team. That loss, it didn't break them. It actually just focused them. It lit a fire under them, and it kicked off this incredible climb through the state tournament. And you know they only had one thing on their mind? A rematch.
And you can see just how hard they had to fight to get that second chance. They had to battle through a nail-biting 3-2 win against Oakton, then turn around and take down a tough Woodson team. They absolutely earned their way back to face the one team that had beaten them for a title.
This scoreboard says so much. You can see the final point there in that fourth set against Woodson, 25-19. It's just a perfect snapshot of their grit, of a team that flat out refused to let one loss define their entire season. They were gaining momentum, and at exactly the right time. So, this is it. This is what the whole journey has been building toward. The state championship. The rematch, the one shot at redemption. And here is the payoff. Remember that empty column from earlier? Well, look at it now. Just 11 days after that crushing 3-1 loss, they faced Cosby again and pulled off an absolutely stunning 3-0 sweep. It was a complete flip of the script. They didn't just win, they left no doubt.
And you can just feel what this meant from this quote by one of the seniors. This wasn't just another game, another win. This was it, the first state championship in the history of Grassfield High School. They made a legacy.
And this is what that moment looks like. The team just surrounding that trophy, the physical proof of everything they worked for. And right next to it, the design for their championship rings, something they'll have forever to remember what they did together.
I mean, just look at all of that, all the hardware. This right here, this is what cements their legacy. Trophies, pictures, the whole thing. Memories from a season where they took the most painful loss and turned it into their school's proudest moment. So, as we wrap this up, the Grizzlies' story really leaves you with a pretty powerful thought. They proved that a loss isn't always the end of the story. Sometimes, it's just the beginning of a better one. It kind of makes you wonder, right? What setbacks in your own life might just be the setup for your greatest comeback?